during the fall of 2000, as a part of Hey 2000, a subcommittee of the Sarnia 2000 celebrations, I visited two elementary schools here in Sarnia, King George VI and St. Peter's School. At each of those schools, I told the students a lot of stories about Lambton County. These students were all taking art courses. Before I'd begun, I had told them that I would like to have each one of them take one of the stories and do a drawing to be a part of a book with pictures and stories about Lambton County. I began with a story about a lake that no one has ever seen, the earliest story of all the stories that I do tell. It was about Lake Whittlesea, a lake that resulted from the glacier moving back many millions of years ago during the ice ages. Then I went on to tell them stories about each of the townships in Lambton County, how each one of them got a name, and several stories that related to each of the townships that were a part of Lambton County at the time, all 10 of them. I told them also several stories about communities, such as the town of Corunna, which was originally intended to be perhaps the capital of Canada. That, however, never happened because it was too close to the border. Many stories, including a story about Vidal, Alexander Vidal, a man who, in the later stages of his life, had a coffin built, which he kept in the living room of the house, and kept apples in the coffin until such time as he returned to England, and he took the coffin back with him and eventually was buried in it. Stories about the beginning of the St. Clair Tunnel, about Alexander Mackenzie, about a magician from Lambton County. In all, I probably told about 50 or 60 stories to the two classrooms. Then I asked them to take one of the stories, to take the text from one of the stories, and do a drawing that could be put along with this story. Stories about early cars, about bridges, about the Victoria Playhouse, about the Discovery Oil, and so many other stories. Even a story about the town of Duthill, where a tree grew in the middle of the road, or about a cheese factory on stilts. The net result was a book with 101 stories about Lambton County, each accompanied by an illustration by a different student of King George VI or St. Peter's School. This book came out early in 2002 and is now available in libraries in our system and in most of the schools in Lambton County.